Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Everything NYJ podcast. As always, I am your host, Liam, and this week, this podcast is going to be kind of like a review reaction video from the Monday night game. And I know I normally do them like separately. I normally do like a review reaction video on a Monday and then the Everything NYJ podcast on Wednesdays. But I've been a little strapped with time this week. The Monday night game kind of threw me off a little bit. So I'm going to kind of combine them into like one video. So getting into the game a little bit, we're now 0-9. We're still on the track to 0-16. And I got to say, it was a pretty good game. It was pretty exciting. It came down to the wire. We only had 1 3-and-out, and that came in the fourth quarter. And I feel like any other year, if the Patriots are the Patriots of now, we would have beaten them, no doubt. We had the lead for a long time. We put up 20 points in the first half and only 7 in the second half. Of course, Dowell Loggins was calling the plays again, and it wasn't embarrassing. It wasn't a blowout. It was, like I said, it was a very exciting game. We were in it the whole time. It could have went either way. It came down to a field goal. Obviously, we lost 27-30. We were right there, guys. I think everybody walked away happy from this game. The Jets played hard, and they still lost, and the Patriots still won. They're not trying to tank. I really don't think that they are. And I never root for the I never root for the Jets to lose. I never have, and I don't believe in that, but I kind of do now. Like, I understand that, you want to see your team win. You don't want to go watch the game every week and just watch your team get blown out. You don't want to watch them lose every game. It's frustrating for the players and the fans. It's frustrating for everybody involved. But I understand that a win does nothing for us. Yes, it's a divisional game, but it does nothing for us. We're at the point now where a win just kind of like sets us back, It's obvious that Adam Gase can't be here next year. Whether he's going to be or not, I don't know, but he's not the answer. He's not going to help us. And winning games is only going to keep him here. It does nothing for us. And this team has a lot of holes that need to be addressed during the draft. So we need good quality, we need good picks in the draft. We need a good draft spot. So why not go all the way? Why not get the number 1 overall pick? I love Sam Darnold. I am a big supporter of him. I always will be. But I understand that he's regressing. He's not the player that he was in 2018 and most of 2019. Adam Gase was brought here to help him develop and help him grow. And Sam Darnold has regressed. And unfortunately, I think it's time to move on from Sam. And at the beginning of the season, I didn't think that was the right move. But as we're moving on, as the season is coming along, I'm starting to think that maybe Sam isn't the guy. And I don't think that's his fault. I say this all the time, guys. I understand that I probably sound like a broken record. But this is not Sam's fault necessarily. But we've ruined him. We haven't set him up for success. And I understand that it's just time to move on from him, I think. As horrible and as crappy as it sounds, I think it's time to move on. Hopefully he'll go somewhere else and he'll, have a great career. I'll always root for him. As long as he's not on the Patriots, which I don't think will happen. I really think that we're on the track to getting Trevor Lawrence. So, Joe Flacco, he played really well. He looked like the Super Bowl winning Joe Flacco. He was 18 for 25. He had 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he had a rating of 128.7. Joe Flacco looked amazing out there. He was throwing dimes. He was throwing 50-yard touchdown passes, 20-yard touchdown passes. He only gave up 1 sack. He looked really good out there, guys. He really did. One of the complaints I do have is Frank Gore. I don't like that he's getting a lot more reps than Lamicah Pirine and Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson had no reps. I think he had 1 punt return to kick off the game. Frank Gore had 12 carries for 46 yards, and he had no touchdowns, obviously. P. Ryan only had 6 carries for 19 yards. And it's at the point in the season that Frank Gore, we know Frank Gore's not going to be here next year. Why isn't he getting 6 carries and P. Ryan getting 12? Or why isn't Ty Johnson getting 6 carries? I think P. Ryan should be getting the most carries out of all of them because I guess he is like the most promising one. He's the rookie. He's still kind of unknown. And he is growing on me. I didn't really know like what he was going to be at the beginning of the season. And he is growing on me. I like him. I think he's improving. And I think he might actually be like a foundational piece. I don't know if he's ever going to be that true number one not wide receiver. This true number one running back that like I believe that he probably could be. I don't know if he's going to be that. But I think he'll be used most likely as a Bilal Powell kind of, guy, like a good support player. I don't think he's ever going to be like the main, the true number one, like starting featured back. But like I said, I do think that he's going to be like a nice complementary piece. I could be wrong. He could go on to be great. I don't know. It's too early to tell. He's only a rookie. But I do like where he's going. Brashad Perryman, he looked great. He had five receptions for 101 yards. This is his first game as a Jet breaking 101 yards, breaking 100 yards. And he had 2 touchdowns. And up until this point, everybody was saying that he's a bust. And I would tend to, agree with that. But he played really well. And this was the first game that the Jets had all 3 of their starting wide receivers on the field for the first time at once. And I do think that makes a huge difference. Unfortunately, Sam wasn't in the game, so he couldn't take, a full advantage of that. And that's kind of been the story of the season. Everybody's been injured, and it's just horrible. So, obviously, Perryman came back. He had a great game. He had a 50-yard touchdown pass, looked phenomenal. Jamison Crowder was out there. He only had 2 receptions for 26 yards and 1 touchdown. So I don't understand, why he wasn't used more. He normally has like a over 100-yard game. He's normally our number 1 receiver. And I wish that he was involved a little bit more. But I can't really complain, guys. It was a good game. It was a very exciting game. We looked pretty good on primetime TV. I can't ask for much more. At, the way the season's going, take it for what it is. I'd rather them lose every game close, and entertaining, come down to the wire. I'd rather them lose every game like that than to be blown out every week and be shut out every week. I don't want to be embarrassed, especially on national television. Everybody's watching. Well, probably a lot of guys really weren't watching the game, but there was a lot of attention going into the game. Great division rivals. We have an epic history. The 2 teams do not like each other. Everybody on the Jets hates Bill Belichick. Everybody knows this. So I'd rather, we looked good against the Patriots, and I'd rather lose every game like that than to be getting blown out every week. Jamison Mims, I almost said. Denzel Mims had 4 receptions for 62 yards. And I really felt like he had a lot more than that, personally. I feel like we were seeing a lot of Mims. I want to continue to see a lot more of Mims. He looked great. I'm still waiting for him to get his first touchdown as a Jet. And I'm just really happy that he's out there, man. We don't have anything to look forward to except for these rookies and these young players. So I want to see them getting better every week. And I think that this game did show that, we do have talent. We do have a bright future. And Denzel Mims, he's looking really impressive so far. I don't know where he's going in, the second half of games. I'm just really not seeing him after, the first half. I don't know what it is. I don't know why we stopped using him. But for some reason, we do. And I really, I want to see him all 4 quarters. I want to see him getting 10, 12 carries, 10, 12 receptions. I want to see him getting 1, 2 touchdowns a game, if not more. I don't think he'll be getting more than that, but, if he does, great. I really think that he's going to be our number 1 receiver in a couple years, and I'm excited for it. It's a good time to be a Jets fan looking for the future. I understand that it's been a really bad year, but, looking towards the future, I really believe that we have a bright future. Our kicker, Sam Costello, was 2 for 2 on field goals. He was pretty impressive. I don't think our kickers are a problem. Our punters are great. That's probably one of the only bright spots that we have as a Jets fan. And again, the tight ends were not featured during this game. Chris Herndon was nowhere to be found, which I'm fine with. I'd rather not use him than throw the ball to him and have him dropping and fumbling. And I'd rather just not even see him out there than to see him out there embarrassing himself. Ryan Griffin had 2 receptions for 28 yards. He hasn't been the same player since the injury. He's openly admitted that. I don't know what his deal is. I'm really over him too. I could care less about either one of them. Let's hope that we're drafting a stud tight end in the draft this year. In other news, Mekhi Becton left the game in the first quarter with a chest injury. There really hasn't been an update on that. People are thinking it's like a pec injury. Hopefully it's not like him, re-aggravating his shoulder. There's really not much news on him besides that. We don't really know like what's going on with him. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. I know a lot of fans are starting to get angry at him, saying that he's soft and he's injury prone and he can't stay on the field. But it's not just him. Sam Darnold's the same way. Mims was the same way, among a lot of other players. I don't know what it is. I don't think that we could really blame Adam Gase for this. It's not necessarily his fault, I don't think. I don't know. It seems like a lot of his players do get injured, though. And let's just hope that this isn't something that continues, like, throughout his career. Hopefully he doesn't have any injuries that are going to, like, linger long-term. Hopefully they're all, little injuries that heal quickly. Because he does need to be on the field. But at this point, there's no reason to bring him in if he's just going to get hurt again. Keep him out. Obviously we're going into the bye week. It's good that, at least he can rest and hopefully just get healthy. There's no sense in putting him in the game if he's not 100%. Not at this point, anyway. I definitely think that we're going to need him a lot more for the future, so it's just better off to keep him. If he's injured, just don't play him. Don't use him as an emergency. Don't risk him getting hurt. Let him get 100% healthy. And that goes with everybody else that's injured too, including Sam Darnold. So, defense, Bless Austin, Harvey Lange, John Franklin Myers, they all looked pretty good. And overall, defense did not play well. I mean, they did to like a degree, but they still, they still suck. Against a good team, they wouldn't have looked this good. And Pierre Desir, I'm over him. He's horrible. He doesn't look good at all. I'm over him. I hope that we can get, just move on from him after this season. Off the top of my head, I do not know what his contract is like. I don't know if he's going to be here long term. I don't know what his deal was. But overall, defense, they're just not playing well. They're still not, like, applying any pressure. They're not really blitzing. I understand that we looked a lot better than we have in previous weeks. But then again, this Patriots team is all banged up. It's not their starting players. So, Adam Gase did look upset during his press conference. He looked like he was fighting tears. He looked like he was, like, wiping his eyes a little bit. And he just didn't have any answers. And I'm fine with that, honestly. I hope that he keeps getting, like, embarrassed. I hope he keeps, I hope he's miserable after every game. This guy needs to get out. We don't need him here. He's not calling the plays. He doesn't serve a purpose. He's not helping anybody. Get him off. Get him away. Get him, let him go. We need to fire him after this season. Hopefully Woody Johnson comes back sooner than later and takes over the team. And I never thought that I'd be, like, excited for, like, Woody Johnson because he was hated, like, right before he left. But if he comes back and fire Gase, everybody's going to love him. During the game, a little, like, side note, they showed Joe Douglas, like, sleeping. So I guess he's the new, Sleepy Joe. I don't know if he was, like, actually sleeping. He looked like he was sleeping, but I really think that he was, like, just looking down, like, at his phone or something. He seems to be texting a lot during the games. I don't know exactly what he's doing. So that was the game, guys. Like I said, not to repeat myself, but it was a good showing for the Jets. Hopefully we can play like this. Obviously, we have the Chargers coming up. I guess that is a possible win. I'm not really sure. Hopefully it's not, because a win at this point, guys, just doesn't do anything for us, right? And I don't mind if we're losing close games like this. I'd rather it come down to the wire. I'd rather it be a close game. It came down to a field goal. And that's the way I like it, At least we're not getting embarrassed every week, right? So, in other news, today, Wednesday, October. Guys, I'm so out of it tonight, man. Excuse me. I'm really sorry about this. It's been a long day, a long week. November 11th, 2020, a Wednesday, where we are currently today. We claimed cornerback Corey Ballentine, I believe you say his name, from the Giants off of waivers. He was a 6th round 2019 draft pick. I don't think he's going to be a starter. I think he's just a complimentary piece. whatever, he's a depth guy. You know, we do need depth on this team. Maybe he will break out and maybe he will like go on to be a good player for us. I'm not really sure. It's too early to tell. I don't know if he's going to see any playing time. Ashton Davis looked all right. I know he had that one penalty where apparently like he hit guys, I am so sorry. I am so tired, man. Cam Newton in the head, like head-to-head contact. I don't think he was like aiming for that. He was aiming for like the shoulder, but there's a huge size difference. You know, you got to get him down somehow. So I really don't think that was a good call. That was a bad penalty during the game. It is what it is. Ashton Davis is growing on me. I do think he's improving every week. And that's really all we can ask for. We just need guys that are getting better every week. So that's about going to wrap it up for me. It was a shorter episode, I understand. So if you guys have any questions, please just tweet them to me. I will I will answer them during the game. I'm doing live tweeting during the game. I will be answering the questions during the Everything NYJ podcast every Wednesday. Please go follow me on Twitter. Again, I apologize. I am really tired. And thank you guys for watching. At Everything NYJ on Twitter, please subscribe, like the video, share it. Everything helps. Leave me some comments. Thank you guys, and as always, have a good night.